Okay, hello and welcome to another Catastrophe Healing Talk. Today we're going to continue our talk about the ancient teachings that have been lost to the masses and are being brought back at this time in the Weavings book, which you can see on the screen here, and the QR code leads you to Amazon to check the book out. In the Weavings book, Kay made a list of I don't know how many, a whole number of teachings that individual items that from the teachings that have been lost and now are being brought back. And today we are going to talk about, let's see if I can find it real quick. Yeah, today's theme is to honor, feel, and know that we human beings are creators. Okay, if you're not subscribed to the channel yet, please do that and like, comment, and share, turn notifications on, all the good jazz to help the channel out and help us out. And my name is Helmut, and I'm here with our beautiful friends, Lora and Lora. Hi, guys. And of course, Kay. Hi, Kay.
Hi, Kay.
And let's jump in.
Okay.
All right.
So, the ancients believe that we are unique, individual parts of Creator. We're extraordinary. We're vast, and we're ancient, and beautiful, and full of love. We are pieces of Creator. Everything is. Every song is. And everything is a song. Song means a beingness, conscious, alive. And in the old way of thinking, everything is alive, even things like rocks, things that we usually think of as being inanimate objects. Science has always said they're not only inanimate, they're just dead. They have no life. But in the ancient teachings, they see life in everything. They feel the life in everything. And they talked to the life in everything. And we're part of that. We're a piece of that. You could say we're a holographic piece of Creator. The way that they describe Creator, creative consciousness of the whole universe, and they describe the making of the universe, the descriptions sound a lot like a holograph. I don't think we're a holograph, but that seems to be a very popular theme to talk about in the science and philosophy world these days. But it does have that one interesting quality about being a holograph, is that you take the whole part and you take one little piece of it and you look close at it. Everything that's in the whole is in the part. And if you take that piece apart, take one little piece out of that, everything that's in that tiny little piece is exactly the same as everything in the whole universe and in the other part. It just keeps repeating, getting smaller, 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 smaller. If you want to talk about the way the ancients talked about Creator, the creative consciousness, they like to use the Egyptian terms that were used in the mystery schools. And they didn't call it a he. They did, upon occasion, call it a she. And her name was Oset Kempt, which means Black Isis. Isis means the beginning, the mother, the birther, the one that creates everything. And she's black because we look out into the night sky where we could see a big part of the universe out there, and we see a lot of black. When we are here on Earth and we're trying to do scientific experiments about space, and they have to box everything in and close everything off. Well, when you do that, if you don't take a light with you inside with the area that you've closed off, it's black, it's dark. That's the blackness. And science has always thought about that as being empty, our modern science, just empty. But everybody before that, and all the ancient traditions, thought about the blackness as being full of consciousness and aliveness and energy and movement, and what they referred to as potential. And that all that energy and potential holds the whole history of the universe, every aspect of the history, and every possibility of the history and the future. And so to the pre-flood Egyptians, that blackness was extremely sacred, holy, and it represented Isis, Oset Kempt, and the continuous creation. Once it started, it's been a continuous creation of our world, our universe, and everything that she created is alive. As she created our material universe out of this blackness, the void, everything in our material world, our part of the universe that's material, is alive. And all that blackness in the sky, or the emptiness, supposed emptiness, in the space around you, it's not empty. It's completely stuffed full of consciousness. And all the recorded history of the universe and all the potentials. And if there is such a thing as scientists say, like parallel universes and other dimensions, other worlds, not just other material planets, but other whole kinds of worlds that don't have matter, but they're made up of something else, and they have lots of beings, songs, aliveness, consciousness in them, all of them. So if we're going to talk about creator, all of creation, and we say we're a part of it, we're a piece. Like they used to say, a piece off the old block, then yeah, that means we're everything that Creator is said to be. Whatever Creator actually is, whatever all of creation actually is, that's what we are too. And all this energy and information and the history, the recording of everything, every thought, you think your thoughts are private? No, the universe hears them and they record them too. So they're in that too. And we're a piece of it. We're like a holographic piece of that. So what does that make us? What kind of consciousness do we have? What kind of powers, powers or gifts do we have? Whatever the universe has, we have too. It's what we are. It's what the matter and the energy and the non-physical parts of us, energetic parts of us. It's the same as the Creator. And we have all the abilities, all the same abilities. When you get all the same abilities of something, you whether you know it or not or want it or not, you've taken on the responsibilities of that too. So that's something that we also carry, the responsibility of being such incredible beings, incredible potential. We are a baby race. In the universe's terms, we haven't been here but a blink of an eye. We're just barely out of the womb, so to speak. And we think we're such great stuff and so advanced. And we've come with so much evolution that we're the top of the game, better than anybody, anything else. Well, babies do tend to think that way. They like to think that way about themselves and the things that they know or the people that they know and maybe live with. But everybody, everything, each one is a song, a beingness, a beautiful consciousness. And we're all a piece of Creator. We all have all these same qualities and abilities and responsibilities. So to understand that we are something incredible, super. The teachings say we need to honor, we need to feel, we need to know that we, as human beings, are creators. So, what does the Creator create? That means we have the ability to spark the same things if we know how to do it. If we're out of our babyhood and know enough of how to do these things. One of the most important things that we need to acknowledge, recognize, really feel, and understand is that every thought we make, every single thought, half formed, wholly formed, dwelled on, hardly ever dwelled on, every thought, every feeling we ever have is recorded. It's recorded in this great field of energy and information that is all around us and in between us and between every atom, and was all the way solid through us and through everything else. This field. You could call the field the creator because it fills the whole universe that way. So every thought we have is picked up by the field, by creator, by everybody and everything else throughout the universe. You might think of that as a big lack of privacy. But the more you think about it, you realize that you're picking up everybody else's thoughts and feelings and their actions and their history. Because that's all, it's going everywhere. It's being absorbed by everybody, everything. And it's in the whole field. It's part of who and what we are. So our baby concept of privacy isn't very realistic. We need to take responsibility for this ability to create these thoughts and have them go everywhere. One thing that the universe does do with all these thoughts and emotions, the feelings, the emotions are extremely important, very, very creative. You put those two together, the thoughts and the emotions, they go out into the field, into the universe. They are talking to the universe, to creator, and they say, this is what I want. So no matter what you're thinking or what you're feeling emotionally or what kind of activity you're doing, these thoughts, these feelings, the intent behind the thought, they go and create whatever that is. They create more of the same. They create us. They create the world around us. They keep rebuilding us. And they rebuild the world around us. And we create our intimate world. We create the community. We create the whole human race and the planet. We're actually responsible for all the crazy, crazy destructive things that go on in the world today. And the reason they're like that is because they're mimicking what's inside of the humans. What's inside us? What have we been thinking? What have we been feeling? We've been feeling a lot of craziness. Upside down and backwards. We've lost a lot of information along the way from our ancestors. A lot of information. And that's what these podcasts are about. the kinds of information that we have lost, trying to restore it into the world so that people can contemplate it and then put it in their lives in whatever way they manage, and lead better lives and create better environments and better communities, and less or no war, no violence, no hatred, no suspicions of others. Because we are creators, we need to take responsibility for our minds, how our minds think, how they got that way. Our minds got full of so much junk through the years of our life. We have been taught, we've been told, we've been programmed in so many different ways and directions, and about this thing and the opposite thing, and they clash inside of us. When we have these kinds of wars and suspicions and hatred and uh, greed, corruption, when we have that inside ourselves, that is the world we create. If we carry some violence inside us in some way, every time we think of it, feel it, it gets rattled up in us, we are helping to create that in the whole rest of the world. So in order to change the world and change into a beautiful, non-violent, non-warring, non-corrupt place to be, kind of lives to live, culture to live, you know, right down to the if we have governments, if we have some kind of money, if we have any of these social constructs, that they are not corrupt, uncorruptible. We have to become uncorruptible as humans. We have to learn how to do that. We've been taught the exact opposite our whole lives. And when we have this much creative power, what else could you expect? You're going to create a world that keeps on trying to destroy everybody else, take everybody else's things and money, and it looks absolutely crazy out there. And if you don't really understand how it got that way and how it perpetuates itself, you'll just keep perpetuating it. So the teachings say we have to change the way we think and the way we believe. We have to start looking at and questioning every belief that we have about everything. Science, medicine, your beliefs about family, about love, about relationships. We have strong beliefs about everything, about all that stuff. And they come from a corrupt culture, from the corrupt mindset. And we have to give that up if we want to grow up and become a more adult race in the universe among all these other races. Think for a minute. Can you imagine what these other races must think about us when they look at us, Look at our world, our way of being, our way of life, and well, our relationships with each other, with everything else. These other races that do come here, they do have ways to get here, and some have been here for a really long time visiting and watching and trying to help humanity, guide humanity. But they're not going to come down here and take over and rule us and take all control of everything. They're just way beyond that. They're very ancient races. So if we want to not blow ourselves up and off the planet entirely and ending our human race entirely, then we have to change, and we have to change fast. We have to start doing it right away. And it needs to be everybody. Everybody needs to start changing, questioning their beliefs, their reactions, their decisions. Not judge. Don't judge themselves. Don't go around judging yourself or others. Just question it. If you don't like what you see, change it. And pick love. Pick love and peace and kindness and beauty and connectedness. It would make a very, very different place very, very fast. Very, very fast. And that would include all of our technology would change for the better. We've used technology that it has worked. It has done its function that it was supposed to, but we just don't know everything that we think we know about physics, mechanics, and water and air and the dynamics of all these things, and the dynamics of our entire atmosphere and the land. And we have a lot to learn. We've been holding ourselves back from learning. But it's time to grow up. We're not little tiny babies in diapers exactly anymore. So what do you guys have to say?
I'll go first. I always giggle when I say that. I love these teachings. I mean, gosh, just think about it for a second. You just taught us, if if you're new to this teaching, that we're a piece of creator. Just think about that for a second and how that might feel. Unlimited piece of creator, unique and connected to everything. And that where we put our thoughts and our attention, we're creating our experience, as opposed to everything outside of us has to look and feel and be a certain way in order for us to be conscious creators, you know? Um, it's powerful because right here in this very moment, we can choose. We can choose to be that piece of creator. Like the subject today is to honor, feel, and know that we're a creator and to live that way. How powerful would that be if we just lived like we were unlimited, that we could extend love into each moment? The other day, I was stuck in traffic and I could see into the window next to me, and I don't know where this person needed to be, but I could clearly feel their energy. They were so upset that they were stuck in the traffic. And I'm in the moment feeling my song and feeling the songs around me. Well, what were they creating? And if we're creating our moment to moment experience, then you're throwing it out there. And like, I always look at it as a pig pen, you know, if I'm extending love, then that's a different feeling than feeling like you're helpless and limited and just kind of stuck. And you're creating that experience by whatever you're throwing out there. And I just felt my song and I extended it. And that was my experience. I wasn't unhappy about being stuck because that's where I was. That was my experience. And I had another experience the other day. I mean, you know, and this is every single moment we get to choose. I mean, I love that knowingness that I get to choose from moment to moment what I'm going to experience. I have a deck that's had some water damage up against the building, and there was this board. It was stuck. The screws were they had started breaking off. The board was um, really degrading, and it was just stuck there. And then some ants came out, so I got to experience that too. I was like, "Oh, this feels like a mess," you know. And at one point, I started to feel frustration because I had an assumption that this would be pretty easy to kind of remove these things, and I had some expectations of how it was going to turn out, and I caught myself. I caught myself before I went down the deep end of choosing unhappiness because it wasn't turning out. So I got to brainstorm different ways I wanted to create in order to get these screws and nails out that had broken off. Or it was actually kind of fun once I changed my perspective of how I wanted to experience it, because this is where I was. This is what I was experiencing. So what do I want to put out there? I want to extend love in whatever moment that I can. And when you do that, you feel so much more gratitude and appreciation for where you are. You're focused on where you are and moment to moment choosing how you want to feel it and experience it. That's powerful. Because instead of just going about my day and unconsciously creating, I'm consciously creating. Now, sometimes I fall off, but then I can choose again. It's just like throwing that pebble into my awareness and creating. So, to honor it is to know that we are creators and then experiencing it, choosing to experience it that way and feel it that way. It's very powerful. I love these teachings and being able to connect with, I mean, we have our consciousness right here, but these teachings it teaches us that we're connected to all of it. Just think of that for a second. Unlimited, connected to all of it, not just like right here where your blinders are. That's magical to me? It's exciting. It's exciting. We have an impact on this planet by where we put our attention and what we feel and believe. What do you say, Lora Keddie? I always love your perspective.
I don't know that. I was just thinking, I'm like, I don't know that I want to say anything after you and Kay spoke. I mean, Laura, those were beautiful examples. I mean, I love those examples you just gave of situations, choosing realizing what you are creating and being in the moment. I think I recently I've been spending a lot of time with people who were feeling powerless. Like, I mean, feeling like, why are they even on this planet? You know, in one person's case, suicidal. You know, like, why were they here? You know, just absolutely feeling powerless, like they have no power. And I remember that feeling of misery. It was pre Katasi days, and ironically, it's been, I love the statement you said about if we are each individual pieces of creator, what does that make us? I love that, Kay. That it was like I haven't heard you say that, or I forgot. But what does that make us? I mean, it's like really looking at that. It's just like I'm totally going to use that. It's like, but more importantly, what are we creating? And when somebody's in that dark night of the soul, feeling like the walking dead themselves, it's hard at first for them to see that, like attracts like. It's hard for them to understand they're an all-powerful being that is bringing this experience to themselves. Because it's shit happens. It still does. My mom used to say, when something goes wrong, look around. And she goes, you'll start finding these wonderful things that are gifts of those wrongdoings, or gifts of those bad things happening. And that's how you lead yourself out of it. And I've just watched this collection of people who have gone from not believing anything in this life has anything to offer them, for them studying these teachings, and just the call of your song, just, and just is a funny word to use in all of this, but it's when you've been in it almost 12 years now, it's like, it gets better and more juicy. But those these people who've just, I'm going to keep using it, done that, the foundational course, those beginning classes, have completely turned their lives around. They now understand this creating the life they live. I mean, they ironically, there's 3 I can think of at the top of my head, all have new jobs, all, you can't get them down. Or if you do, it's they have the fundamentals and the tools. They are turning these things around quickly because they don't want to be stuck in that rut again. And once they've had a taste, and they've had the dance of the earth, fire, serpent, so they have more life energy, and so their creative abilities are even stronger now, and they have more juju, to bring to this life. I'm just seeing they're delighting themselves. I'm not doing anything. We're not doing anything, and that's Katasi. That's teaching each person about their human potential, because we're each a piece of this creator. I love that you say it's the responsibility to it. It's just like, if people, that tends to overwhelm people when they first hear it, because at first they're feeling powerless, and then they get the power, or that's always been there. They're accessing that power and using it, and they get overwhelmed about their responsibility for fixing the rest of the planet. But it's not like that. They just need to stay here. It's just like they need to keep manifesting the beauty in their life and seeing the beauty in their life. You don't have to look any further for, we each just need that. That's the change in this planet. That's, is to stay in that love and see the beauty that's all around us. And that's the magic. My husband and I have totally changed our lives. We changed it a few times now, and he just got a phone call this morning about somebody who'd stayed in the same rut he was in, and how their health has gone down, and how they're finally getting themselves out. And I loved hearing my husband coach him in these same terms we're talking about today, because he's not heavy in this practice. He's just listening to me. But, he saw this. He saw the path of getting out of I'm powerless, victim. You know, why is this happening to me? You know, total Eeyore. You know, to you know, showing the light to other people, saying, I am happy, I am healthy. You know, I'm pooping rainbows over here. It's life is beautiful. You know, I'm going to keep going back to that question though. What does this make us? I love that question, Kay. Thank you. Helmut,
Yes.
you got thoughts?
A lot, yeah. There's a couple of sentences out of the book that I love and I've always loved, which speaks to what we just talked about. And one is, we continue according to what we carry, the beauty or the war. And then the next one, couple of paragraphs down, is, we weave into the web of life of our planet according to what we carry. And looking at my life, I have for many, many years carried the war and the struggle and the fighting. And my life unfolded accordingly. But when you start realizing what you're doing and how you create all that and make your way out of it, everything changes. Everything changes so completely. And when I look at the world, there's some people that go after these kind of things, these realizations, this understanding. But unfortunately, I see so many people stuck in complaining about how bad things are and how difficult it is and how nothing works out. And ironically, the more, and we talked, obviously, as we talked about it today, the more you get into that, the more you create of it. So it's like this doom loop people get themselves into and don't know a way out. And I hope by sharing these teachings more and more that they find a handle and a direction and see a possibility of a future that can be created that's very different.
Well said.
Okay, here's the book again where you can find many of these things. The Weavings, Dawn of a New World. And up in the top left corner is our website. So if you want to check out our work and what's there, what we do and what we offer, you can go there as well. Any other thoughts? Anybody?
I have one. If we are unique individual pieces of creator, then we've found ourselves on the perfect stage to awaken. It would be arrogance to think that anything that doesn't show up in our experience isn't put there for that very thing, so we could extend love into that moment and create that in our reality and for all humanity. Because what we focus on and we're creating, we're laying the pathway for all of humanity to do the same thing. That feels so empowering to me. How do I want to experience whatever's in front of me? I can choose moment to moment. How much power is that in that knowingness? It's, yeah, perfect stage. We're on the perfect stage to awaken.
Beautiful.
You're your thoughts?
Me?
Mm-hmm.
But I keep thinking about the other statement you said, we create the community. That one keeps like what's around us. It's just like it's just I think because I've been so focused on creating my immediate world, not really thinking further that I was also, through creating my immediate world, I'm creating my community. And the community that's around us. I think there's a shift in me right now that's going from more internal to more external, and seeing more things that are happening around me, because right now the world is feeling a little helpless in many ways, feeling empowered, and I'm having that. Meanwhile, over here I'm feeling very empowered and very hopeful and the things I see. And so I like that idea that I'm very pleased that I have more power, in my life, and that I am truly affecting the community out with us. Because I think, Kay, you've said it before, it's the 100th monkey kind of thing. We're exponential. And so even in that, I don't feel powerless. Not at all. I feel like a creator. And that's a huge difference. And the idea that in my neighborhood, I could be in my side of the world, I could be the 100th monkey, just me. That could be enough, to change my neighborhood. And then my neighborhood changes. And then my neighborhood affects my community, my city. And then the city affects, the region, and then the region affects the state. It's just, we are so powerful. And I keep coming back to that. We are each an individual piece of creator. And where are we putting all that magic? Thanks, Kay. Do you have any more thoughts?
Yeah, I have one more passage I wanted to share from the book. And I don't know if I can do this. Oh, can you guys see this?
Yes.
Yeah. Good job.
Okay, cool. Here goes. It is the nature of humanity that what we are carrying gets accentuated. What we insist on believing and feeling and thinking, and what we act on, grows in intensity and proliferates into the field, into our web of life. This fact of nature changes things. This is how we change our future.
Yes.
Very cool.
Yes.
That's it. That's the magic.
Okay, it's like you've taught us something.
You all have picked it up incredibly well and accurately and thoroughly. And there's always so much more. There's always, you get to that horizon, and it opens up to another huge amount and huge world, and all that knowledge that you can choose to step into and learn and feel and incorporate in yourself. And so you've totally learned it, and then you can share it. I'm definitely impressed with all the students. And like you said, these guys just beginning, having the first level or two of the classes and participating in the different events, mentorship and stuff. And how much they learn, how much they change, and they unburden themselves, and the amount of pain that's gone, and all those feelings of total powerlessness, helplessness, victimization, they just fade away. And they've been replaced by such beauty, such incredible love and caring and faith in their own selves and each other, but especially in their own selves and their ability to keep learning more in whatever direction, whatever field. That they're like a giant sponge. They could just keep going and going. And when you're living in a Katasi way, living with the love and the peace and the beauty, it's just so natural. It's so easy to just share it. To share what you know with the people around you. Even if you're just standing in the grocery line together, probably never see each other again. You share what you are carrying. And you could be sharing peace and tranquility and self-worth and the beauty, the happiness, the joy, the super love. And it all gets shared in just a moment. It could be less than a minute. But you affect other people. We all do. Whether we know it or not, whether we've met them in person or not, we're affecting others. All the others. Much better feeling being connected and knowing that you're connected and feeling just how connected you are to every other person and every other thing. And it extends all the way out through the universe. You're connected. You're not isolated, not alone. You're connected. And a piece of Creator. So thank you all.
Something I just thought about that becomes even more powerful.
You're muted, Helmut.
Thank you. Something I just thought about that becomes even more powerful in the context of our conversation here is something your teachers mentioned to you a number of times, I'm sure, and it's the best thing you can do for yourself and the world is to walk a path of awakening and let yourself be happy. getting to the place is really changes everything. We're good.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you, ladies.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody, for joining and watching and listening. And we love you. See you next time.
Love you.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.